Hey guys, Jane here. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about how to become a ghostwriter. If you saw my last video on ghostwriting, you probably wanted to know more about how does one go about becoming a ghostwriter. Certainly I have a book on it. If you like, you can find it on Amazon, and it'll give you a little bit more detail than I'm going to go into in these videos. However, the basics of becoming a ghostwriter are you need to connect with people who need a ghostwriter. And there's a lot of different ways to do that. You can do it on one of the marketplace websites. I personally use Fiverr, but other people may use Freelancer or there's quite a few other ones out there. If you Google freelance services, you can find a whole list of sites and get on there and see which ones work best for you. I do find that it sometimes takes a while to find one that is a good fit. I've gotten on a couple before I started on Fiverr, and I just wasn't gaining any traction, or I know a couple of them, the dashboards were really confusing to me, but I really enjoy Fiverr. I do also take personal clients that are directed to me through either my website or at a time I was on different forums, particularly on DeviantArt, saying, hey, I'm a ghostwriter, does anybody need any work done? And also following the forums on DeviantArt to look for people who needed ghostwriting. So those are all ways, but basically you want to put the word out that you're a ghostwriter and you want customers to come to you who need your services. Once they do, you want to make sure you have a contract ready that says, how much are you going to get paid? How long is it going to take to deliver? What do you do about revisions? One thing I like about sites like Fiverr is that they give me some protection that I don't have privately. If I have somebody who's going to be paying me through PayPal and they don't, to get that money, I have to take them to court for breach of contract. And, whereas with Fiverr, I have a little bit more ability to fight it and a little more protection from the site. Now, mind you, I also with Fiverr have to pay a fee. They take 20% of your earnings, and that's not a small chunk. So there, again, it's which way do you want to go? Do you want a little bit of extra protection, or do you feel comfortable with the fact that, sometimes you might have a client who doesn't follow through on their end. Once you have a contract filled out, you do the writing, you give it to them, and generally the wording of the contract should be that upon receipt of your payment is when they get the rights to the work. So if you do that, you're protecting yourself, because unless they pay you, they don't get the rights. So they can't do anything with it. So if they hire you to do that and they don't pay you, my understanding, if it's in the contract, and you would definitely want to talk to a lawyer about this, not a lawyer, don't know, this is just my understanding as it stands, they wouldn't get the rights, and you would get the rights until you turn those rights over, since you were the actual creator. Now, if you're working off of their outline, I don't know how that works. And again, if you are making a contract yourself, I would definitely consult a lawyer if you can afford to do so, because you want to make sure that you're protected. Some things to think about, though, before you decide to go start your own business as a ghostwriter is, number one, do you have the time to devote to ghostwriting? Because you can get big very fast. I had the problem early on, and some of you may have seen in my last video, may remember me mentioning, I started ghostwriting in 2014, and about 6 months in to 8 months, I was done. I couldn't handle it. And part of what had happened was I'd gotten really backed up. I had so many orders and so many clients that, because I'd been advertising and working really hard to get clients in the beginning, and then when the orders started pouring in, I couldn't keep up. I also wasn't ghostwriting full time. I wasn't doing it 8 hours a day, and I'm still not. I do it about 2 to 3 hours a day, which means I'm only creating for myself about 2,000 to 3,000 words a day for my clients. And, if you have somebody who wants a novel written, a 50,000 word novel written in a month, that's problematic on 3,000 words 5 days a week. And that's about what I'm capable of doing right now with a full-time job and with children and trying to get in some of my own writing. So, be really aware of what do you want? How much time can you devote to it? Um, Also, especially when you start out, the pay's kind of low because you're going to spend most of your time trying to get clients. I'd say for the first month or so, of the 3 to 4 hours I was doing, because when I started out, I was doing 4 to 5 hours a day. um, but I was also working part time at my regular job, and now I work full time, and then I'm a part time ghostwriter. But how much time can you devote to it, and what is that going to mean as far as clients? When I started, it took me most of that time searching for clients, and are you going to be able to devote that time knowing you may not get paid this month? It may take a while for you to get clients. And once you do get clients, you have to fulfill the orders. And if you're on Fiverr, it's 2 weeks to get paid after you deliver and they accept your order. So, if you are in a really tight money spot and think, oh, I'll do this for a couple weeks, that's not going to really work because it'll take you possibly weeks to just get clients. Another thing, are you able to give up some of your creativity? Clients want what they want, and they're your customers, and you have to write what they want. And sometimes you may know what they want is wrong. I have some really great clients that I've had to say, I'm not sure the direction you're taking the book is what's going to be really sellable on the market. And sometimes they say, no, this is how I'm doing it. This is perfect. This is wonderful. I want it this way. And even if you know that that's not maybe the best choice, you kind of have to go along with it because they're the ones paying you. Additionally, you may not always like some of the work you do. I've had some projects I really, really love and I feel passionate about, and I've had some that I really didn't. And it can be hard to know that you're going to have to trudge through and do your best at making something that you might kind of feel like it sucks. And it sucks in a way that you can't fix. Like if somebody comes to you with an outline that just doesn't work, you can tell them that, but if they still want you to write it, and you have to be careful about what you say to people too, because you don't want, this is their vision. This is not your project. It's not a collaboration. It is this is what I want, and they're paying you. You can certainly say, oh, hey, I just might have a little bit of a concern about this thing. Like, oh, you have 5 different points of view in a 20,000 word book. Are you sure that's what you want? All of them in first person. And if they say yes, you do it. So you do have to kind of really be able to give up that artistic part of yourself and just do what the client wants. And that can be hard. Another thing, are you capable of writing even when the muse isn't showing up? So I have a 2 to 3 hour time slot. I start at the same time and then I go as long as I can manage before I get mentally exhausted, where I write. And I have to show up and write in that time slot even if I don't feel like it. Even if I'm tired, even if I'm sick. Clients, you have deadlines. And you can't be like, well, I just don't feel like writing today, so I'm not going to. You can't do that if you've got anything close to deadline. You can definitely look at your schedule and be like, okay, I don't have anything due for the next 5 days, and when it is due, it's something that I know is going to take exactly this long to do. And you may say, I just really can't do it today. As long as you're still getting your work in, that's fine. But right now, I have 7,000 words due in the next 3 days. And that's going to be really tight for me. And I'm going to have to really probably do a little bit extra time, more than I normally plan on. And of course, as you can hear, I'm coming down with something. And believe me, the last thing I want to do is add extra time to my ghostwriting. But in order to meet deadline, I don't have a choice. And sometimes you are sick and you don't feel inspired. And sometimes the words physically hurt to write them. But if you're a ghostwriter and you have deadlines, you have to do that because, clients are not going to let you off the hook. Sometimes if it's a real serious situation, they will. Like a couple years ago, I was hospitalized for pneumonia. And when I had pneumonia, I messaged all my clients and said, look, I'm so sorry. I am sick. I'm in the hospital. I literally just can't get your work done. Could you give me an extension? And most of them were great about it. Most of them were long-term clients anyway who, were like, oh, I hope you feel better. And so I have amazing clients. I should be really clear about that. I do. I love my clients for the most part. But, you've promised that you're going to get them stuff in a timely manner, and they need it. They might need it for their business blogs. They might have a publishing deadline. They might have already started marketing this. They need you to deliver. They might have an editor lined up. So even in the days you don't feel like it, you still have to sit down and write. So make sure that ghostwriting is right for you before you get started, because you don't want to disappoint your clients. Once you start disappointing clients, it can, you can get underwater pretty quickly. You can get, if you're on a site like Fiverr, you can get negative reviews. You can, get a bad reputation, and you don't want that. You want to make sure it's a win-win. You want your clients to come and think you are just the most amazing writer in the world and tell all their friends, no, this is the ghostwriter you need to go to. And you want to get paid decent, and you want to have as good a time as you can writing other people's stuff and learn what you can. So ghostwriting is great. Just make sure you're a good fit for it. All right, guys, if you have any specific questions about ghostwriting you'd like answered, feel free to leave it in the comments. If you've enjoyed this video, hit like. I will be linking my book, the link to my book on Amazon underneath here, in case you want to check it out. It is in KU right now, so if you are a Kindle Unlimited member, you can read it for free. It is only an ebook at this time, but I probably in the next 6 months to a year will expand it to an audiobook and maybe a paperback. It's not hugely big though. So yeah, I hope this has been helpful to you. If you want more content, hit subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.